Hey guys, what's up? Here's my alternate build for the Inquisitor Transport Scythe. As you can see, it's a gunship, and I think it's turned out pretty well. It's a pretty sleek, solid build, and I'm excited to jump into it. As you can see, unlike the standard gunship, this model has only one cockpit. That's just due to the limitation of the pieces I was using, as it only came with one cockpit piece. At the back you've got the small little ramp you can drop down, but you can't really fit much on it. That was mainly there just to kind of hold the back in place, make it look flush. On the side you can see the tiling, looks pretty good I reckon. As you can see, inside the cockpit you can house two pilots. There are chairs there, but if you have a minifigure with armor pieces, you can remove the chair and give them more space. Same goes for minifigures with capes. I think I accurately captured the silhouette of the gunship. Let me know in the comments what you think. I wanted to compare this gunship to the 2013 Republic gunship, but I couldn't seem to find that one. So here's the troop transport that I previously built and reviewed on this channel, and here's a comparison alongside the figures. The mechanism for the door was inspired by the previous gunship's Lego released. However, I did want everything sealed up so this gunship could be spaceborne, which is why the doors are so oversized. But I still think it looks good. The figure selection in this set is fantastic, but I do feel like we need some pilots to drive this bad boy, since it is a troop carrier. We also need some more crew members, so I reckon we throw in a few stormtroopers. As you can see, the stormtroopers can fit pretty comfortably inside. Here I've got 4 of them. On the inside of the ship, you can see some triangular support inside. I used the snot technique to strengthen the internal design of this build, and that allows you to hold the model from pretty much every spot. I do not recommend holding it from the wings though. It's pretty flimsy there. I used lots of tile pieces to help create a nice pattern on the doors. Up top I also used the tile pieces to create the layered effect. There was also a fair amount of grill pieces in this set, and I used those to help break up the monotony, and there were dark silver ingots which I also used to add more detail. You can see there's grills alongside the wing, and some slope grills at the back. Moving down to the spine of the ship, you can see I've got some tiles here, broken up by some grill pieces. I think it adds to the aesthetic. There's also this hinge slope piece, which helps with the transition to the cockpit. I've used these light curved pieces on top to hold down the connection points that hold the wings together. I've also used this dark grey cylinder Technic piece to kind of give the tip of their barrel a more refined look. You'd expect the cannons to be pretty flimsy, but they hold their weight pretty well. Sculpting the front of the gunship proved to be pretty challenging, because I didn't want it all black. I wanted there to be a bit of variation, and so I was able to settle on making a grey chin, kind of like the 2013 gunships where they've got that green chin. To create the effect of a wider base, I attached a slope plate onto a hinge plate piece, and that allowed me to create the shape I wanted. The front turrets are probably the least impressive part of this model. They're puny, and I'm sure you guys can improve on that. Unfortunately, I couldn't use every single piece in this set, so there is a fair amount of spare parts. For an alternative build, this model is very structurally sound. It's very sturdy in the body of the ship, so you can grip it, and here I'm shaking it. I'm not going to drop it because I value my Legos, but at the back here, that's probably the most optimal spot to grab it, and you can swoosh it from there. I used many interesting techniques to build this model, but the one I used the most was the snot technique. That helped keep everything strong and sturdy. And to the best of my understanding, I haven't used any illegal brick building techniques. Like I mentioned before, you can grab it by the body, but it's not recommended you grab it by the wing. As you can see, there's a bit of stress there, so avoid that. If you like this build, leave a comment below, drop a like, and hey, subscribe. If we get to 5,000 likes, then I'll make a building tutorial on how to make this. Overall, this model took about 60 hours to produce, not to mention it was the third iteration. The first two models, they weren't structurally sound, they kept having stability issues, things would fall apart, and there were a couple illegal building techniques that I recognized I was using. Hopefully this model doesn't have any of those. I've checked everything, I've made sure that there's no stress, and so it seems okay, like to my eyes at least. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed designing this.